Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm finally back after a little hiatus. I had a stint with pneumonia. I went home for Thanksgiving, so I couldn't make any videos. It's finals week in college. I got a couple A's coming in the way, but hey, you gotta grind. Bit of a roommate situation stuff, but we're back. And in this video, I'm going to be giving my reasons of how the Jets can still make the playoffs. Yes, we are still the seventh seed, but it's by the day it's looking worse and worse, and our chances are getting smaller and smaller. In this video, I'm giving my reasons for how the Jets can make the playoffs and how we can secure a playoff spot. All right, so obviously in the background, I'm going to be playing the Vikings game, most recent Jets game, and the one where I'm going to have the most takeaways from. Look, obviously the Jets needed to make a transition from Zach Wilson to Mike White. Zach Wilson just wasn't playing well. Have no idea if his return is ever inevitable. But looking at how Mike White performed last game, I think he performed fine. I mean, obviously you don't want to see two interceptions, but one of them was a game-sealing interception. But, Mike White's always unlucky with those tipped passes. But the most impressive thing from Mike White is that he actually gets these simple things done. We obviously knew this last year with the Bengals game. He played well against the Colts when he was actually in there. Mike White is fairly accurate. I think his career completion percentage is up in like the 60-something. It's up at like 67%, maybe 68%. But Mike White's accuracy and his ability in the short intermediate game, is really what separates him to be the starting quarterback. And that's obviously my biggest takeaway from what I've been saying. Mike White going to be the starting quarterback probably for the rest of the year. I don't see Zach Wilson going back in, especially because the race is so tight, and Zach Wilson is not elevating the Jets. I mean, hell, the Jets were winning in spite of Zach Wilson. But in that fact, you have to play to Mike White's strength. You can't really push the ball downfield as fast as you could with Zach Wilson, obviously, because Zach Wilson can throw 60 yards off his back foot. But Mike White, he has a good live arm, and he's very good at that 15 to 20 range and within 5 to 10 yards. And that's what the Jets did in the Bears game. That's what they did in the Bengals game. So, you have those two games where you look for, and then you have this Vikings game, and then you have the Bills game where Mike White does or has early stumps. Jets obviously went down 20-6 in the first half, and against the Bills, Bills put up 21 in the first half, I'm pretty sure, or they put up like 28. With Mike White, have to start off early. You have to get the advantage off early, because that's when Mike White will settle in. Speaking about the rest of the team, Garrett Wilson needs to get heavily involved. He already is very much involved, but he had 162 yards. This game, he had 95 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Bears. He has to be the focal point of this offense. He has to be the guy you're looking towards all the time. He's the biggest superstar on the offense right now. And then for the other takeaways is the Jets have to succeed in the run game. If you look at the games that the Jets lose compared to the games that the Jets win or succeed in, the Jets when they succeed in the run game, they succeed in all aspects of the game. Just if you can set the run early, which the Jets weren't able to do last game, set the run early, the Jets have a way easier time, progressing throughout the game. And also, speaking about the wide receiver reps, Corey Davis is good, but he's not the 5th overall pick kind of Corey Davis you're looking for. Braxton Berrios, I think, gets too many reps as well. Had a crucial drop on 4th and 10 on the 1 yard line. Obviously you can't make that drop, but they're paying him $6 million, so they're going to have to give him reps. Denzel Mims doesn't get a lot of targets. He doesn't very much get open. And then Elijah Moore's finally been getting involved as well, but obviously he requested a trade earlier in the season, so you had to punish him somehow. Speaking about the defense has a lot of good pieces. Obviously, the Jets couldn't hold the Vikings, who are a top offense with Justin Jefferson, to too many yards because you had to put LaMarcus Joyner. You had to double Justin Jefferson with LaMarcus Joyner, so that opened up the run game heavily for the Vikings. But the Vikings actually didn't even perform that well out of half. They only scored 7 points in the entire second half. Obviously, they scored 20 points in the first half. But my key takeaways for the rest of the season is that the Jets have to win earlier. Obviously against the Bears, the Jets were down 14-10 going into the first quarter. Then they scored later. Vikings scored 20 points in the first half as well. New England Patriots, another recent loss. Jets just couldn't get active early. The thing is, if the Jets are able to, and this is like, you can't predict early starts, but if the Jets got out to earlier starts, especially now because of the teams they're going up against, that would be extremely beneficial to Mike White, because when Mike White starts off hot and he starts off early, starts off good, completions, no interceptions, his stat line, when you look at his stat line, it's much better than when it is to when he does not get into a hard start. Threw an interception in his first drive, Jets end up losing. What did he do with the Bills drive, or in his last Bills game? Threw an interception, game was basically over. So when you're looking at the upcoming schedule for the Jets, I don't know why my freaking caps. When you look at the upcoming schedule, the Jets face the Bills, the Lions, the Jaguars, the Seahawks, and the Dolphins. All of those games are somehow losable. All those games are somehow winnable. But you have to guarantee yourself one divisional win, because the Patriots. Look, the Patriots are our next closest competitors. Obviously, they're fourth right now because they are 6-6. They face the Cardinals, the Raiders, which could be 2 easy wins right there. That's an 8-6 possible start. But then they face the Bengals, Dolphins, and the Bills, which could be 3 losses. Look, we have to root for the Patriots' downfall heavily. We also have to root for the Chargers' downfall heavily as well, because the Chargers will end up facing the Dolphins. They'll face the Titans, they'll face the Colts, they'll face the Rams, and they'll face the Broncos. Look, those could be some easy wins for the Chargers, even though Brandon Staley is not performing well. Look, I'm sorry. We have to be rooting for the Dolphins, because the Dolphins face the Patriots, the Dolphins face the Chargers. If they win both of those games, that could be incredible for the Jets' playoffs ability, because those are the 2 closest wild card teams in the hunt that are our direct competitors. But when we reverse back to the Jets schedule, Jets face the Bills, the number 1 seed in the AFC currently. The Jets face the Seahawks. Seahawks are a playoff team. The Jets face the Dolphins. Last game of the year, the Dolphins. That's probably going to be the determining factor whether we get into the playoffs or not. But when you're looking at our schedule, we need to guarantee one thing. We need to guarantee that we have one of these wins versus we need to guarantee a win versus one of the losing teams. We need to guarantee a win versus either the Lions or the Jags. And we need to guarantee a win versus either the Bills or Seahawks or Dolphins. We need to guarantee ourselves some type of win. We need to really win one of those games, because that's a must win. The Jets are able to make the playoffs at 9-8, but we really have to hope that the Dolphins will beat both of the Patriots and the Chargers, and we also hope that the Bills are able to defeat the Patriots as well. And we also have to hope that the Chargers do get massively upset by either the Rams or the Broncos or the Colts. But those are also 3 of the worst 5 teams in the league right now. I mean, Broncos are a 3-win team, the Rams are a 3-win team, the Colts are a 4-win team. We have to hope for a humongous upset, and then we also have to root for the Dolphins, unfortunately, which would mean that the Chargers are an 8-loss team. Jets do have the tiebreaker over the Chargers because of strength of schedule, but the Jets really have to be rooting for the Patriots' downfall most importantly, and then it helps that the Patriots' schedule is difficult as well. It's even more difficult because the Bengals are a top team, Bills are a top team, and the Dolphins are a top team. That could be a 3-loss stretch at the end of the season. But Jets really do have, I think if I were to predict the rest of the season, I would say that the Jets lose against the Bills. I don't believe Mike White is going to have major success, especially with the, revival of the Bills now. They got Jordan Poyer back. They've gotten a few key pieces back on defense, like Matt Milano. They've gotten their defense back. But the Jets really do have to key in against the Lions and the Jags. If the Jets can win both of those games, our playoff chances go up increasingly, because that's a 9-win team with 2 games left. And then the Jets either have to buckle down and beat the Seahawks to go 10-6, or the Jets have to beat the Dolphins. And that brings me back to my point. How do you beat those teams? How are you going to beat the Dolphins? How are you going to beat the Bills? Well, you already beat both of those teams. And how did they beat both of those teams? Well, obviously the Dolphins had their third stringer in, but it's secondary, and then pass rush. The Jets have DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner, who are both playing at Pro Bowl levels, who should both get in. I don't know about DJ Reed if he gets in, but you have to just keep on playing that, deep cover 3. You have to keep on shutting down their big play receivers, and then you got CJ Mosley in the middle of the field. Jets have both of those teams are inconsistent on the run as well. But that's how you're going to win defensively. And you could use the same format for the Seattle Seahawks as well, with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Just your secondary matters a lot right now, especially for the upcoming games. Pass-happy offenses galore. I mean, even including the Lions. Lions are also a very pass-happy offense, and the Jaguars. And then on offense, what do? These are not the greatest defenses, but they're going to be shootout games. And if you're getting into a shootout, what does that mean? You got to score offensively. So what do the Jets need to do? Well, Zonovan Bam McKnight has been playing well. He's been playing well. What it was like an 81.6 PFF grade in the last 2 weeks. Garrett Wilson has been playing incredible. You got to keep on getting Elijah Moore involved and Corey Davis. The offense just needs to keep on rolling, and I think Mike White is the best quarterback we have available to keep the offense consistent. But these are going to be a lot of close games. These are going to be a lot of fireworks. And I hope that the Jets go downfield a lot more, because the Jets were super effective versus the Vikings downfield with obviously Garrett Wilson, 162 yards. Would like to see the protection get a little bit better. Give Mike White some time. And when Mike White does have that time, we saw against the Bears, only allowing 1 sack. Mike White had plenty of time to throw, got 3 touchdowns in the air. But if I were to give some optimism to finish out this video, Jets came back 20-6 in the second half and made it a very close game. But the Jets obviously were 1 for 6 in the red zone. Jets got to be better in the red zone. Play calling's got to be a little bit better, but I think it will, because play calling has usually been good with Mike White and Mike LaFleur. So the optimism is the Jets will get better in the red zone. But, massive game this Sunday against the Bills. We're going to see how the Jets perform. So if I were to have any advice to any of my fellow Jets fans, it's that it sucks that we did lose a very close game against the Vikings, and our playoff chances are slowly going down. The Jets have key games that they need to win, and hell, I would rather have a Mike White-led offense than a Zach Wilson-led offense, with the defense still playing at top tier. Just got to win a few more games. Got to hope the Patriots and Chargers lose. Look, we're still in the playoffs right now, so we just got to keep that spot. Got to keep on playing good. That's going to do it for this video. I know it was a little bit disorganized. Hopefully the production quality will go back up once I go back home and I have more time to edit. But, I'm on a tight schedule right now. So let's hope for some more Jets wins, and I'll see you guys in the next video.